Ladies and gentlemen, it is Keytown Sports coming back to talk about all of the intriguing matchups of week 9 of the college football season. There are quite a few games that have a interesting trademark on them this week. So I'm going to get into all of them. The first one I'm going to get into is number 20, Illinois fighting Illini versus the number 1 Oregon Ducks. All of these matchups that I am going to talk about, all of these teams are in the top 25. So it is going to be a big Saturday tomorrow because all of these teams are in the top 25. A lot of shakeup is going to happen when Monday comes. So the first game, Illinois fighting Illini and the Oregon Ducks. Now, Illinois fighting Illini is led by Luke Allmeyer. Here is his stats. Well, they have a 2 quarterback system. Sometimes they have Devin Leary in there. Then here are their receivers. No, excuse me. Here are their running backs. Here are their receivers. Here's their kicking. And then here is their defensive players. As far as solo tackles, they have 427 solo tackles. Now that is as far as the Illini defensive side. As far as their offensive side, they've averaged 29.6 points per game this year. Third down efficiency is 36%, one of the worst, and 42%, which is one of the worst in college football. Fourth down offensive efficiency is 60%, which is one of the best in college football. So you see what we have on the fighting Illini side of things. Now let's look on over to the Oregon Ducks, which has a talented offense, which is led by Dylan Gabriel. And the running back, the bell cow running back for the Oregon Ducks is Jordan James. Also, here's all of their quarterbacks and wide receivers that have thrown a pass. Here is the Ducks running attack. Here's the Oregon Ducks wide receiver attack. Here's their kicking and their defensive players. Now, as far as solo tackles, they have 397 solo tackles as a defense. As far as their offense as a whole, they average 34.9 points per game. The third down offensive efficiency, 48%, which is decent in college football. Fourth down is 62%, which is decent in college football. And then as far as them averaging offensive plays and yardage on every play, they average about 6 to 7 yards a play on offense. The Oregon Ducks do. So in this game, is this game going to be close? Now, I've heard that all throughout the week, and I suggest it might be close for the first quarter and a half, but I expect the Oregon Ducks to take over this game. Plus, they are at home. This is the first time that they have been the number 1 team in the top 25 in 10 years. Last time they were ranked number 1 was with Marcus Mariota. So that was a good 10 years ago. Now they're back at the top spot in college football. I expect them to take over this game, and I expect them to win this game by at least 17 points because Illinois' offense is not as well equipped and Illinois doesn't have the type of offense that can keep up with the Oregon Ducks on a quarter-to-quarter basis. That's why I expect this game to not be a blowout, but to be on the verge of a blowout. Now, I can see Oregon getting up by 17, 20 points early in the second or even the third quarter. So I got the Oregon Ducks winning this game by at least 2 touchdowns, if not more. The next game I want to talk about is the Notre Dame Fighting Irish versus the Navy Midshipmen. Now, congratulations to Navy. I thought that Navy was just going to be an average team this year. Obviously not. This is their best start since 1996 when they started 8-0. So Notre Dame 6-1. We know what we've all witnessed from Riley Leonard throughout the season. Then their bell cow running back is Jeremiah Love. Jeremiah Love and their wide receivers, the bell cow wide receiver is Bo Cox. Not Bo Cox, but Bo Collins. And then here is their leader in tackles and interceptions. Here is their rushing game, their wide receivers, their kickers. Well, they've had 3 kickers throughout the season, so 3 kickers. And then here's their defense. And as far as solo tackles, they have 421. So Notre Dame's defense is pretty much up to par when it comes to tackling. Now, the offense. The offense averages 34.6 points per game. Third down offensive efficiency, 37%, which is teetering towards one of the worst statistics in college football. Fourth down, they are 71% on fourth down, which is near the best in college football. And then you look at the Navy Midshipmen offense. Now, Navy hasn't been like this in over 20 years. This team undefeated this late in the season. Like I said earlier, last time they started out a season this good, it was 1996. Now, we look at their quarterback, Blake Harvath. And here is their running game. Here is their receiving game. Yes, here's their receiving game. Here's their kicker. And here's their defense. And as far as solo tackles, they have 457 solo tackles as a defense. So the Navy Midshipmen, they don't miss too many tackles. As far as offensively, Navy has one of the best offenses in college football, averaging a record-setting for their school, I might add you, a record-setting 44.8 points per game. Third down efficiency, 40%, which is decent. Fourth down offensive efficiency, 85%, one of the best in college football. So when you look at both of these teams and you see you have one offense that can score in the high 40s, and the Navy Midshipmen has a dominant defense. And another thing, Navy has not trailed in a game all season. Notre Dame, at times in their offense, they seem a little iffy at points in the game. They cannot have a slow start against Navy because Navy, they can turn up the heat on that. They've turned up the heat on their opponents really fast in the first quarter. So in this game, I got to go with Navy because Navy has been consistent with what they have done. Also, we already know Notre Dame for certain games, they be up and down and they can be iffy. You don't know what you're gonna see from Riley Leonard, but give me the Navy in this game because I like what I'm seeing from the Navy, and I like that they are doing this on a consistent basis. No matter what team that the Navy Midshipmen has played, they have dominated every team throughout the season. So I'm going with the Navy Midshipmen. and they are going to win by 10 points in this game. This game is still going to be close, but in the end, I believe that Navy is going to tack on a late field goal in order to win this game by 10. The next game I want to talk about is the Missouri Tigers versus the Alabama Crimson Tide. Missouri, 6-1. Brady Cook, we know what we know what we are going to get from him. The running game, we know what we're going to get from the Tigers in the run game. The wide receivers, the kicking, and as far as the defense, as far as solo tackles, they have 424 solo tackles. Now, let's look at their offense, because their offense has been sputtering in the last few games. They average 33.4 points per game. Third down offensive efficiency is 49%. Fourth down offensive efficiency is 50%. Now, as far as Missouri coming into the season, they were a top 25 team. They are still a top 25 team. Now, when we look at Alabama, we all know that Alabama is led by Jalen Milroe. The bell cow running back for them is Jam Miller. The head wide receiver is Ryan Holiday Williams. Now, Alabama is due for a good game. They have to, because I'm going to tell you, Alabama hasn't lost back-to-back games since 2007. Just let that sit in. Just let that settle in. Since 2007, Alabama hasn't lost back-to-back games. And since 2006, Alabama hasn't lost 3 games since before November in 17 years. So we all know that this Alabama team is very new. A lot of first-year guys on it, freshmen. So but I can say one thing. Alabama's back is up against the wall. They probably not gonna go to the playoff, which I did not see this coming. But one thing they can do, they can play for a bowl game. They can. So, as far as their offense concerned, they average 38 points per game. Third down offensive efficiency is 42%. Fourth down offensive efficiency is 71%. Now, one thing I need to see the Crimson Tide do better is the defensive coordinator, Kane Womack. He has got to get the defense off the field on third down. Also, Kalen DeBoer, he has got to coach a better game, and the offensive coordinator for the Alabama Crimson Tide has got to call a better game, because Missouri, they making some noise now. I didn't think that they would be the same team that they were last year, but they have shown some glimpses where they are weak at certain points in the game. But now, against a team like Missouri, Alabama, you cannot mess around. You got to win this game, win the rest of your games out, and hopefully you may sneak into the college football playoff. But now, who do I see winning this game? Alabama got to come through and win this game. I mean, I ain't never felt like this when it come to Alabama. Alabama has went from a team that can go out there and give you a 20 to 35 point win on a weekly basis, no matter who they playing, to a team where you don't even know if they can stay in it. if the offense is going to be able to withstand a successful drive to put a touchdown on the board. But all in all, Alabama should and will win this game. Boy, if I come in here Monday and Alabama has lost this game, I'm gonna have to say that Alabama we all know that Alabama is a different team, but with this coaching regime, if they lose versus Missouri, it's gonna take them another year or two to get back to the Alabama that we know and love. So as all in all, I got Alabama winning this game by 10 points. So don't let me down, Alabama. Please do not let none of your fans down. The next game I want to talk about is the Texas Longhorns and the Vanderbilt Commodores. Texas Longhorns. First off, the Texas Longhorns led by Quinn Ewers. Arch Manning has come into the fold at times this season. There are his stats. The rushing game for the Longhorns. All of these guys have rushed. The wide receivers for the Longhorns, all of their stats are here. The kicker, the defense. The defense has 452 solo tackles this season. Also, the Vanderbilt Commodores, the surprise of college football, I can say, because we didn't expect Vanderbilt to beat Alabama. They might have a chance, more than likely, they have a chance to beat Texas, which is another top-notch team. So what I'm going to tell you is Vanderbilt, nobody needs to take Vanderbilt lightly now. Don't take Vanderbilt lightly. Quarterback, Diago Pavea. And here is the rushing game for the Commodores. Here is the receivers for Vandy. Here's the kicker for Vandy. And here's the defense for Vandy. When it comes to solo tackles, they have 430 on the season. And when you look at their offense, they average 33. They average 33 points per game. Texas averages 39 points per game. So this is going to be a good game no matter what. This might come down to whoever had a ball last or whichever defense can make a stop. Now for Texas, their third down efficiency, 43% in college football, which is decent. Fourth down efficiency, 35%, which is one of the worst in college football. The Vanderbilt Commodores offense, third down efficiency, 52%. Fourth down efficiency, 75%, which is one of the best in college football. So now when you see what both of these teams have on the offense and defensive side of the ball, I'm going to go with Texas in this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt upsets Texas and wins this game and shocks every college football fan again, because Vanderbilt, they can hang with some top-notch competition now. They can. That is what they have done over the past few years, building up a team like this. And then, like I said, we didn't expect them to beat Alabama, let alone put up 40 points on Alabama. We didn't expect that. And but I'm going to tell you what we should expect. We should expect this game to be a tight game throughout. And we shouldn't be surprised if Vanderbilt wins this game in the end. But I'm going to go on ahead with Texas, because Texas, they need to redeem themselves from that Georgia debacle they had last weekend. The last game I'm going to talk about before I get out of here is the LSU Tigers versus the Texas A&M Aggies. Number 8 versus number 14. So, when it comes to the LA Tiger, not LA Tiger, LSU Tigers, we know that they are led by Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier has had a good season. Here is their running game, led by Caden Durham. Here are their wide receivers. Here's their kicker. Here is their wide receiver. Here is their defense, And their defense throughout the season has over 451 solo tackles as a defense. And now when you look at their offense averages 34.1 points per game. Third down efficiency is 49%. Fourth down efficiency is 44%. So they are teetering. That's decent, but not okay with a high success rate. The way that the LSU Tigers offense move, fourth down, if you get them in fourth down, sometimes they go for it and then other times they punt. It all depends on how it's looking in the game and if it's early in the game or if it's late. Now, Brian Kelly, he has been a bit of a risk taker and rolled the dice and called a fourth down play really early in the game. So you never know with Brian Kelly what you gonna get. But as far as LSU, they have a dynamic offense with Garrett Nussmeier. Texas A&M, they also have an offense. They've had these two quarterbacks playing throughout the entirety of this season, Connor Wigman and Marcel Reed. This game, Connor Wigman is going to start. Here is their rushing game led by Le'Veon Moss. Here is the Aggies wide receiving attack. Here's their kicker. And also here's their defense and their solo tackles on defense. As an entire defense, they have 410 solo tackles as a defense. Now, when we look at the offensive statistics, offensively, 31.4 points per game. Third down efficiency for the Texas A&M Aggies is 45%, which is decent. It's average, okay? Fourth down offensive efficiency is 62%. So the Texas A&M Aggies, they are a team. They are a young, upcoming team led by a new head coach, Mike Elko. But I think that they are able to win this game, and I believe that Texas A&M is going to win this game. So I got Texas A&M winning this game and upsetting LSU because LSU, they are riding high from that Ole Miss win that they had last week. Now, this week, you're going into a hostile environment. The Texas A&M Aggies, College Station, the 12th man, all of that. They have a hostile crowd, and that hostile crowd can take over the game. I got the Texas A&M Aggies winning this game in a close one by a touchdown, if not more. And with that is my outlook and predictions for college football week 9 of the 2024 college football season. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, click the notification bell to get notified of all of my reaction videos, shows, and other content. Also, follow Key City Sports on TikTok. And remember one last thing, the key is always on time.